Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is BeatStreet Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host, Lee, a.k.a. the Hoops Guru. As always, I have my partner with me, Mr. MKA, Mr. Moda, my man Ed. What's going on, Ed? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, you?
I'm good, man. Hey, week 17 is here, man. We've been doing this for a while now. We done did at least 17 weeks of the show. Been hit the mark sometimes and missed the mark sometimes, but overall we've done pretty good. And this is the last week of the regular season, man. So this is like a marathon. 26.1 miles. And firstly, I was reading for like 25 and a half miles, and you was in my dress. Now you done just got up with me and took the lead, so hopefully I can sprint at the end and tie this thing up where if you get back into it, it's going to be hard, but I'm going to give it a gallant effort, man. You know?
So how many games am I up? Like 3?
Yeah, I think so. I believe it's 3, man. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put a Christmas miracle on this one, but we'll see. Oh, yeah, you know what I got to do is give ourselves a little props, too, before we actually get into the Week 17 games. Remember when we were talking about the Associated Press Male Athlete of the Year? We were saying the only 2 guys that probably should give LeBron James a run for his money were Peyton Manning and Jimmy Johnson. Those are actually the only 2 other people that were in contention for it. So kudos to us, just off the top of the dome, we were able to kind of be on the mark as far as that's concerned. I'm wondering if somebody like Jameis Winston or something could have competed for him if he didn't have that little controversy that kind of derailed his image a little bit this year. Or do guys who have that ever get considered for a award like that, do you know?
Right.
Week 17, man, here it is, Every game is on Sunday. I'm surprised they didn't do any Saturday games or anything like that this year. It's going to be good for a good Sunday. Let's get into it. The first game, Carolina at Atlanta.
Carolina at Atlanta. I know Atlanta went ahead and had a real valiant effort against San Francisco. They tried to go ahead and get a dub out there on Monday night. It turned out to be a very good game than what we all had anticipated. But Carolina, I'm kind of fearful for this game. I don't want them to kind of lay down and open the door back for the Saints. But just based on how bad Atlanta's defense is, I'm going to go ahead and still take Carolina in this one. They should be able to go and run the ball. Cam's a little nicked up with his ankle, but they're saying it's not no real big major issues. And with the defensive performance that Luke Kuechly with the 24 tackles and an interception against the Saints, right now I just can't, even though it's the games on the road, I just can't see them allowing Atlanta to knock them off when they got pretty much a first-round bye right there on their lap.
Atlanta played pretty good out there in San Francisco. They were one bad Matt Ryan play from pulling that thing out, and really could have put San Francisco in a sticky situation this week. This is Atlanta's last home game of the year of a bad season, and Tony Gonzalez's last game as well. I think, these guys are going to try to go all out and get this last win. So, at least leave the year on a positive note and send Tony Gonzalez off with a bang. I'm starting off strong, man. I'm picking Atlanta to win this last game at home, so I'm taking the ATL.
All right. Well, Steve Smith's not going to be playing that game either, so that might help you out.
Yeah, they got to pay for something, man. I think Tony Gonzalez's last game might be the other inspiration they need. And they actually resembled a little bit of Atlanta that we expected them to be last week and the last few weeks kind of putting together, even though they're really injured. So it's possible. Green Bay at Chicago. Aaron Rodgers is starting.
Yeah. Now I know when it comes down to the Bears defense, they're horrible against the run. With A-Rod starting, we don't really know. I mean, of course, it's going to be rusty. He's probably going to look the way Cutler did against Cleveland 2 weeks ago. But the fact that he's on the field is going to open up running lanes for Lacy. I know the Green Bay defense is quite horrible against the run. But I think they're probably going to be energized. And where's their game played at?
They're just playing in Soldier Field.
Okay. Yeah, but I think the team's still going to be energized because they're going to have their leader back and they know what's on the line here. So I like Cutler, but I just really be surprised he pulled this one out. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Green Bay to somehow miraculously come up with this win and win the division title. So I'm taking the Pack.
Does Green Bay still have playoff aspirations? They do.
The winner of that game wins the division, makes playoffs. Same thing in NFC East.
Wow, man. Yo. And because when doggone the Lions throw it out and let your G-men beat them, that eliminated them from the playoffs and made that a play-in playoff game. Green Bay, man, they've been kind of weird this year. Will they be the same team that Aaron Rodgers is back after all these weeks?
Well, like I said, he's gonna be rusty and stuff. But I mean, I still got to go ahead and take him because, you know, I mean, he's been practicing and stuff. So that's where I'm going with.
You know, I can't. You know, I'm not down with your boy Cutler anyway, and they got smoked last week in Philly. So in that regard, I think I'm gonna have to pick Green Bay as well, man. I'm tempted a little bit, but I just can't. I can't pick Aaron Rodgers, man.
So let me see. So you can pick Matty Ice because you're trying to make up points against Cam, but then you can't pick doggone Cutler against A-Rod.
Now after the way that offense looked last week, no.
Oh, okay, though.
You know, but I mean, come on, and that defense gave up that 54. Nah, shoot, Aaron Rodgers, man, you know, these boys are experienced, man. They saw blood in the water. They get in the playoffs. They got their general back. I think it's a good situation for Green Bay. Baltimore, Cincinnati.
Well, you know, I'm taking Cincinnati. Cincinnati is undefeated at home. They seem to put up the most points when they're at home. I know Baltimore's going to be playing hard because they need this dub. But the last time Cincinnati had them beat, they had that fluke freaking Hail Mary play. They went to overtime, and they played a very good game in B-ball. But I just don't see them being able to go ahead and sweep Cincinnati. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the squad I've been picking that you've been hating on all year and go with the Bengals at home because they still have a chance to get a bye if New England slips up and lose the last game of the season.
If Baltimore wins, they still need help, correct?
What's that?
If Baltimore wins this game, they still need help to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, all four teams is vying for their last spot. All need help. So they all got to win first, and then any other two will lose.
See, I don't know. Part of me thinks Baltimore has the professionalism to go in there and get the job done. Cincinnati's has been kind of erratic the last few weeks. You know, they did play off a game against, they destroyed Minnesota last week, but they were at home. So, you know what? I'm buying this Baltimore defense.
That's you going with?
Cincinnati, I've been saying that all year anyway, so I'm not going to put my season on y'all anyway. I'm doing this game way too early, but I'm just going down the list that I have. I guess this game probably got switched to a nighttime game. I don't think it originally was. Philadelphia, Dallas.
Oh, you know me. I'm taking my pick, and that's at the beginning of the year to win the division. Especially now with Romo not playing. You got some dude named Kyle Orton who got his job took by Tebow. So now they think he's gonna walk up in this game a big time. Pretty much playing game to make the playoffs. The Dallas defense is still horrible. I have a very bad feeling, though, that the Dallas defense is going to do something that's going to really irritate me and play their best game of the year because of the fact that Tony's not there and they're going to want to step up when they didn't do it the whole rest of the season. But I still see the Eagles being able to run the ball and escape out of Dallas with a W.
Well, you know what? I just think the fact that if Romo's not playing, those little intangible plays that he makes, where it looks like he's dead in the water and pulls it out like he did in the game last week, I believe, when they were looking dead in the water against the Redskins, and he pulled that rabbit out of his hat. Kyle Orton's just not that dude. And if he's not going, and I don't know how much they're going to allow him to be a gunslinger out there, because Philly's going to put points on the board. So in that regard, I'm picking Philly to go in there and keep doing what they're doing with our boy aluminum foil at the quarterback, man.
Okay. So who you taking?
Philly.
Oh, okay.
I thought I explained that, man.
I was making sure.
Hey, Jacksonville at Indiana, man.
Oh, you sure you don't want to take this one?
I'm not taking Jacksonville.
I'm just saying, those been your boys, man, so I didn't know if you want to lead off with them or not. You know, you've been taking them back for the week.
I won like 2 games with them dudes, but no, they're not going to Indianapolis. Indianapolis looks like every game their mid-season form they had going on. So I expect them to do more of the same, you know, get polished up and ready for the playoffs.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and similar to what you said, I just can't take Jacksonville because it's Jacksonville. But there's just no real analysis to give here. Jacksonville, bad teams find ways to win games. To lose games. So I'm going to take the Colts because the Colts they kind of sometimey too. Because it's amazing that they've lost the games they lost, but then this same team has knocked off like the Seahawks, San Francisco, Denver, and Kansas City. So they're not going to be a real big dark horse in the playoffs because you don't know which team is going to show up. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Colts.
Hey. I picked the Colts. So, you know what's crazy? I'm watching Maryland play Marshall right now in the Military Bowl, which is, there's 3 bowl games. Because, like, I'm watching the game, you know, they got the little scroll at the bottom. Is there really a Fight Hunger Bowl, yo?
Yes, there is.
Come on, man. Like, I heard bowl attendance is real down this year as well, too. It's like they're OD in college football, though. I know everybody got to try and get their money, but what's the point of having bowl games if everybody gets to go to a bowl? This is almost as worse than the NCAA tournament, man.
No, it's no way on that scale. See, now you're tripping. And the bowl is called the Kraft Fight Hunger Bowl.
Hey, I don't care. Hey, they don't need no damn Kraft Fight Hunger Bowl, man. They ain't like them teams. Yo, if you didn't win your division or like top 2, you shouldn't even be in a bowl. Like these games with dudes are like 8-8 and crap like that. It's just ridiculous and a waste of time, man. You know, even though actually this Maryland and Marshall is a pretty good game. But let's get back to it. The New York Jets at Miami.
This is a real scary game. Because
yes, sir.
Miami needs to win this game to go ahead and get into the playoffs and then get the help, same way Baltimore does. But just based on the performance that they did last week in Buffalo, which I still don't understand how they lost that game, got blanketed 19-0, and then Thad Lewis was the quarterback, wasn't even E.J. Manuel. It really makes me think that Miami is going to be a real suspect going up against the Jets, and the Jets have a better defense than Buffalo. So I know last week you was amazed, so I guess you're going to be amazed again this week. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take the Jets to go into Miami, knock off the Dolphins, finish 8-8. Dolphins finish 8-8, and I still don't think it's going to be enough for Rex Ryan to go ahead and keep his job. And I'm just purely going with this because of the fact that I know that the Jets have a very good defensive front, and they should be able to exploit the left side of Miami's line. And Geno's been playing, managing the game, playing mistake-free football. And if he does that, they can pretty much be in any games they play. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Jets.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and pick Miami. They're at home. They got their backs against the wall. They gave up a putrid effort last week. And which is the quarterback for the Jets. Geno is not that good. Yeah, he's not that good on the road. So in that regard, plus I have nothing to lose. I need to gain some ground, so this might be one of those games because it's kind of a toss-up. But I'm going to give Miami a little bit of the edge because they have more riding on this game than the Jets do. So, and they're at home, so I'm picking the Dolphins. Here's a game that could have meant something, but it doesn't now, Detroit and Minnesota.
that game wasn't going to mean nothing irregardless because of how bad Minnesota's been this year. But I know they're saying that right now.
Something for Detroit.
Man, stop. I know they're saying that Adrian Peterson. Okay, you say so. I know they're saying that Adrian Peterson is doubtful to play this game because he got a strained foot and there's pretty much no reason to put him out there. Not like he's breaking any records or anything of that nature. So, and then also they're saying that the backup Gerhardt probably won't play. So it'll probably be the dude Azada, who was a couple weeks ago. They had 3 touchdowns against the Eagles when they blew them out. Still going to be Matt Castle. Detroit, I mean, I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and take Detroit because they're the more talented team. The game's going to be closer than what it should be because they're going to do what they've been doing all year, playing undisciplined, unsound, and Stafford's going to throw a couple of picks. But I just can't. They can't lose in Minnesota. So I'm just going to go with Detroit.
I mean, I'm very disappointed in Detroit. I had some, higher expectations for them. They sold me out in a few games this year. They should have won. But like you said, I can see them losing to Minnesota, but I can't see them losing to Minnesota. You know what I mean? So they got to save some type of face and try to end the season on a good note. And they're more talented. They should go in there and get this win. And I expect them to, so I'm picking Detroit as well. But, shoot, I said that last week about the Giants. And, we
both did.
Yeah, that was surprising. Buffalo at the Patriots.
Buffalo got that. Lewis playing, backup quarterback. He is playing, so E.J. Manuel, he'll be out because of a knee injury. It doesn't require surgery. Buffalo is interesting. I mean, I think they're going to try to, run the ball, to limit the possessions from the Patriots, but I just think that Tom Terrific in them is going to go ahead and put points up, and it's going to make them come out of that trying to run the ball stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and go with New England, despite the fact they have issues on the defensive line. I was just looking for Tom to go ahead and pull the victory out.
Hey, Brady dissects teams like Buffalo, and they're, they're looking at a great season, man, a better season than I think they anticipated with all the things they've dealt with. And I think in the NFC, I think they believe they have a chance to go to another Super Bowl. So Belichick's going to keep them polished, have them ready, and I think they get a chance to get a bye with this win. So I'm going to pick the Patriots to handle their business at home, close this regular season out strong. Tampa Bay at New Orleans.
That game's in New Orleans, right?
Yes.
Okay. Enough said. New Orleans wins.
You know what? I'm picking 10. No, I ain't. I'm picking New Orleans, man. I ain't gonna mess around. There ain't even no need to talk about that game no more. Washington at the New York Football Giants.
Wow. That's all I can say about this one. This is a really bad game.
It could have been something.
This is a really bad game. Well, I know they've been saying that after this season for the Giants could be a lot of changes, so that may play a part into it. They're saying that Justin Tucker, Akeem Nicks, Deal, and maybe even Tom Coughlin, like guys might be gone, so it might be the final swan song. They're going to be in New York playing against the Redskins. The Redskins secondary is horrible, but then it's like, you know how Eli's been playing all year. If I go to the run game, I think Alpha Morris, you would do some. This is a real difficult game to pick. You know what? I guess I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to pick the Redskins because I don't think Kirk Cousins played a real good game against the Cowboys, but they were able to run the ball. They should be able to run the ball against the Giants. And I'm just going to go ahead and pick the Skins to knock off the G-Men.
Well, you know what? I'm picking some Giants, man. That's my squad. I need some help. And hopefully, they'll come through for me in the past like they have. They are at home. They're playing against a Washington team that's not very good, even though they did show. And you know what? Also, too, I don't think Washington is going to play with the vigor they played with last week. They were playing their arch rivals. The Cowboys had a chance to keep them out of the playoffs, so I think that was some motivation. I don't think there's any motivation for Washington here in this game. So in that regard, I'm going to pick the Giants to win their final regular season game of a terrible season and just sit back and see what the future beholds for my team. So I'm picking the Giants. Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's a sticky one, right?
Pittsburgh. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Pittsburgh because I just believe despite Cleveland's defense, the offense is probably going to have some turnovers to do something silly. And I know Big Ben and them need to get this dub to go ahead and have a chance against your playoffs. But they pretty much need everybody else to lose and for them to win. So I doubt very seriously that they get in. But I'm going to go ahead and take Big Ben in this one. And think they should be able to go ahead and pull it out.
Pittsburgh's at home. They still have some playoff hopes. Cleveland doesn't. That should be enough. You know, these guys have championship experience in their blood, so that locker room should have them focused. They should be hungry at home. Those terrible towels should be spinning, and they should have this win and should be just looking at the scoreboard after that, seeing if they were able to get in or not. So I'm picking Pittsburgh. Yo, this game right here is – I don't even want to do this game. Houston and Tennessee.
I'm going to go ahead and take Tennessee because I know with Tennessee they're going to get solid quarterback play from Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't know. Matt Schwab, I think he's just done this psychologically with his confidence. They're down to third-string running back. Defense has been getting killed in the past game. So I'm going to take Tennessee only because I think Ryan Fitzpatrick and I think Sean Green sighting we had last week. He put some yards up. And I'm just going to take them because I just think that Fitzpatrick has the ability to make less mistakes and probably more plays than Schwab.
Tennessee's at home. You know, Houston's lost 13 games in a row. Unfortunately, I don't see that changing. I don't see where they're going to remedy it from. This team's probably going to get stripped totally. They should get a high draft pick, so they might even have a new quarterback in the draft. But these guys are just ready to pack their bags and go home. So I'm picking Tennessee to win their last game at home in Houston just to put it into this nightmare of a season. San Francisco at Arizona.
You know, this game really does have a lot of relevance because I know San Francisco already beat them once already this year. But with a victory, they were saying that Arizona could play themselves into the playoffs with this win. But it's just hard for me to believe that with San Francisco already in the playoffs, sticking to the wild card spot, that they would go and get the spot up. But, you know, you got to give Arizona a lot of credit going to Seattle and doing the impossible, so we thought, and getting the dub against Seattle. But I don't know. I just can't see them beating Seattle and San Francisco back-to-back weeks. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the Niners in a close game against the Cards.
Well, I'm going to pick the Cardinals. I think it's going to be electric in that building. It's going to have a playoff atmosphere. These guys got a chance to be, 11 and 5? Yeah, 11 and 5, you know, and that'll be marvelous.
And they'd be in the playoffs.
You know. Yeah, they would be in the playoffs. They'd knock out New Orleans, right?
No, they'll be. Well, I think they'd be in the playoffs because I think they would actually knock out. What's his name? I think they would actually knock out. Hold on, no, San Francisco won last week. Yeah, you know what? It might be New Orleans, but I don't know what it would come down to. But I know that they'll be 11-5, and I know that San Francisco won last week. So, you know what? No, they would make it because I think San Francisco is I believe, I'm not sure, but I think that they're 10-5. So
I think if they win, they knock off. I think it's New Orleans. If New Orleans, something to that effect. I have to look at all the brackets,
the playoff
but
scenarios.
I know they do have a pulse. They're still alive. So, and that's why I'm picking them. I have a feeling they're gonna play crazy. You know, and you know what? We gotta give props to Carson Palmer. We have to give props to him, man. He came in there and did a real good job for those guys. Kind of quiet as kept, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he gave them some form of quarterback play, but, don't get me wrong, they won last week against Seattle, but, he threw 4 interceptions in that game, too. He threw 4 interceptions, he had a game with a touchdown, but the way they were running the ball and they was controlling the clock and then the defense was played excellent against Russell Wilson, keeping him actually in the pocket, not letting him create with his legs, and they got pressure on him. I just don't see them doing that against San Francisco in back-to-back weeks.
All right, Arizona is 10-5, and it said they'll clinch a playoff berth in the number 6 seed with a win versus the 49ers and the Saints loss or tie to the Bucks, or a tie
okay.
to the. Okay.
So they'll beat San Francisco, and then even if they beat San Francisco, it won't matter if the Saints win.
Right.
Wow.
I guess they both be 11-5, but San Francisco win the tiebreaker.
Well, it wouldn't be no tiebreaker because they would have split. But you know what it must be? They must have a better conference or division record. So that's probably what it is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, they have a better division record than they do.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, then, yeah, I mean, they can try it as their way, but I can't. Tampa's not beating New Orleans, so they're not going to make it in.
Hey,
yeah,
things will happen this year, so I'm not gonna speak emphatically, but their chances are slim. I'll say that. But I think they're still going to be able to get this game at home. And San Francisco's in, too, so I don't know how much motivation they'll have to win this game as opposed to saying just making sure they stay healthy. Denver and Oakland.
Really? Denver.
I'm picking I ain't that desperate. The
only thing I can say about Oakland is Terrell Pryor's playing. They took out the undrafted quarterback, I think his name is McGowan, that had been there for 5 weeks. In the last game of the season, they're going to play TP. So he'll be in there. He might be able to make some plays. But that Raiders defense is horrible. So, I mean, I don't know how long they're going to keep Peyton in there. They keep, to avoid him getting injured.
So he can shatter some. Yeah, I think Peyton's going to have like 4 touchdowns by halftime and be done. But I just want
that's possible.
He has a chance to break the yards record, too, in the season. I'd really like for him to get that, But
right.
I just don't see him playing the whole game against Oakland. I don't,
Only that would happen if it's a close game, and I can't see it being a close game.
Have they locked up anything? Have they locked up the number 1 seed overall?
Yeah, they've locked up the number 1 seed overall and also division. So, because even if they lose, I believe they have 4 losses. Do they have 4? No. They got 2 on the same record last year. I think they got 3 losses, maybe 4. And I believe the Patriots and everybody else has 5. So, yeah, they can lose that game. I don't think it would matter, I don't think.
Kansas City at San Diego.
Another game where San Diego needs to win and get help. San Diego actually is huh?
San Diego's still alive?
Yeah, they're still alive. Dude, there's 4 teams alive for the final spot.
No, that is hilarious. It just seems like they've had an awful season, man. But they're
8-7.
Too.
Yeah, they're 8-7. And remember, they beat. I believe they went into Arrowhead. I want to say it was, and they messed around and they beat Kansas City 41-38. It was a shootout. So
yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah, so they need to go ahead and they need to beat Kansas City, and then they need other people to lose to have a shot to go ahead and make it. Now, I know the other rusher for Kansas City, Houston, is still out, so they may not be able to get the pressure it was getting before on teams, but I know that San Diego's playing more of a balanced offense and actually being like a real run-heavy team, and they're just throwing play action off of it. So they're going to have a chance to knock off Kansas City, and I don't really know what to think of them allowing the Colts to do what they did. So I think irregardless if they win or lose this game, it has no effect on their playoff status, so they might rest players. So, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take San Diego because I think that they're gonna play their players, and then they're not going to be resting nobody. And I think Kansas City might, and I'm just going to go ahead and go with the Chargers.
You know what? You said all that, but it's funny. I'm picking San Diego, too, because simply I just think they're playing better football than the Chiefs right now. The Chiefs, they were riding high. I believe they were 9-0 before they actually got their first loss. But it seems like they have a problem with high-powered offensive, and San Diego has a chance to look like high-powered offense. And it seems like when they're focused, they really handle their business. Like I said, they've beaten Kansas City. In Kansas City, they've beaten Denver and Denver. And there was another big game they won as well, which is surprising. So I'm going to give them the benefit of doubt just because they have a playoff pulse left to go ahead and win this final game at home. And I think they're going to put a lot of points on the board, too. The last game before we get out of here, St. Louis at Seattle.
I can't see Seattle losing 2 games in a row. Plus, also, they need to win because, well, you know, I hope that they're not in danger. They're not in danger of losing anything, I don't think. But I know that they're 1 game up on Carolina. So, and I think actually they'll be 1 game up on San Francisco. So, yeah, they actually have a little pressure. If they don't win this game, there'll be some issues. But I just can't see them losing to 2 division opponents in a row at the house. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be close, maybe like 21-13. But I still got to take Seattle in that game.
Yeah, I think Seattle wants to close on a strong note. I'm impressed with St. Louis over these last few weeks. To tell the truth, they've looked better than I anticipated. But Seattle's not. They want to show their crowd that they are invincible at home and have that feeling getting ready for the playoffs, even though they'll have a bye. So I'm picking Seattle to win the game at home. And there you have it, Ed. We have made all our picks for the final week of the regular season in the NFL. There's a few little anomalies out there that can help my cause or hinder my cause. We shall see.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, man. Russell, before we get out of here, Russell Westbrook is hurt. Looks like he's going to be out till after the All-Star break. Do you think how bad will this hurt Oklahoma City?
They'll drop a couple of games, but I don't see them falling lower than the third seed in the West. I mean, right now in the West, you're talking about Spurs, the usual suspects, Spurs and, I can't say usual, Portland. I still don't understand how Portland has the record they have right now. But you got those two. I don't see anybody else other than those 2 teams that can either gain ground or surpass them while Westbrook is out. So they'll be fine. He'll be back, and then they'll just go back to rolling.
I think this is one of those things that, help you down the road. You're going to give Reggie Jackson a little more experience, Jeremy Lamb a little more experience, and they should have some confidence going into the playoffs as Russell Westbrook should be at full strength. If there isn't any glitches or anything, he should be at full strength by the time the playoffs are rolling around. So that should be good. That should be very good for them. They'll be fine. But I'm just glad, they're developing the players behind him so that they do feel comfortable playing without him on the court for extended minutes. So there you have it, man. That's the show. We'll be getting back to each other, getting back with you guys probably on Monday, looking back at our games, see how we did, and get ready for the playoffs and talk some NBA action as well. So appreciate it. Hey, man, you be safe out there, Ed. Peace.